Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the American Safeguard Insurance Studios. Your hosts, Matt McJunkins and Matt Wilcox, your source for Arkansas high school sports. You are now between the mats. Welcome to Between the Mats. I am Matt McJunkins, alongside the great, the man, Matty Wilcox. How you doing, Matt?
I'm great, Junk. How are you doing, my man?
I'm living in football bliss. My Hogs won.
Yep.
My Panthers won.
Barely,
but we got it done.
Yep.
My Packers shut out the Seahawks.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that.
Oh, yeah. And let me tell you, Atlanta picked the wrong week to play the Cowboys yesterday. After the Cowboys got beat so bad last week.
By my Broncos?
Yes. They come out this week and said they're taking it out on somebody.
Dang.
But anyway, how about those Panthers?
Dude, it was a nail biter, to say the least. You know, we go down and kick the field goal to go ahead with about a minute 30 left.
Yeah.
Something like that.
A field goal kicker who's perfect.
Perfect for the season. Even though he did chunk that one a little bit.
He did. You know what? I thought it was right.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, no. And JB's, beside me, he goes, it's good. I'm like, no, it's not. And then I look up at the official, and he throws his hands up. I was like, it's good.
It was awesome.
It was awesome.
And then, like, the next play, they throw a 60-yard bomb and get down there and score in position. I'm just like, how does that happen?
Oh, I know it.
But anyway,
Sean Saturday, he after Little kicked the field goal, he said Bradley Turnage equals Cam Little. I said, Little's not perfect on the season.
That's right. Well, how about them Hogs, man?
Man, I love it. It was ugly offensively.
7-3. We'll take an ugly win over a pretty loss any day. Going into Death Valley is never easy, especially at night. That LSU program, man, they're in some trouble down there.
Jimmy Sexton has really done a good job because he's made a ton of money off of coaches getting paid to leave.
Yes, he is.
I mean, I was looking at the race. There's a race right now between Mullen and Orgeron to see who's going to get paid the most to get fired.
Are you serious?
It's not close, though. Mullen's like 12,000.
Yeah.
I mean, 12 million. Orgeron's like 16.5.
Ooh, man. That'd be nice to get a check for that, just to go home, sit on your butt, right?
That's like you look over there, and they showed him watching that field goal, and he's just going, well, they going to pay me.
Did you see the video? Speaking of Mullen, did you see them act a fool in the locker room after they beat Samford?
I did.
How embarrassing is that?
That was terrible.
I mean,
do you know that was the most they've ever given up that Florida's ever given up in a half?
And then you go in and act like you won the dang national championship.
Yeah, Samford, church school.
So let's talk about these Hogs a little bit. Give you some of these stats. Arkansas had 13 first downs against LSU. LSU had 20. Third down efficiency, which has been awful all year. Play calling has not gotten better on third down.
Oh, it was so bad. It got worse.
Briles even admitted.
Yes, I heard it.
Did you hear him?
I did.
I don't mind throwing it short of the sticks and letting my guys do the work. And I'm like, that makes no sense.
None.
Especially if you're going to throw it to the short side of the field. I just don't understand it. But anyway, we was 3 for 16 on third down. LSU was 6 of 18. We were 1 of 2 on fourth down. They were 2 of 3. Total yards 283 for Arkansas, which is not very good. LSU 308. We were 142 yards passing. They were 200. We rushed for 141. They rushed for 108.
I was like, midway through the first half, I was like, well, I guess we're just going to abandon the run. We're like 5th in the country in rushing.
Right.
I guess we're just going to quit running the ball.
Makes no sense. KJ was 18 of 25 for 142, a touchdown, no interceptions. He also rushed the ball 15 times for 41 yards. Dominique Johnson had 15 carries for 40. Traylon Smith had 6 for 37. And then the receiving, we had Tyson Morris had 3 catches for 31. Dominique Johnson had 2 for 40. And Traylon Burks had 4 for 16, but nothing that just pops off the sheet for sure.
No, it just didn't give him a chance.
Right. But, hey, man, a W is a W.
Take it.
We're probably the best record we've seen at Arkansas in how long? I mean.
Oh, shoot.
Hey,
I will say this. Did you see, I think it was this week. It might have been last week.
No, it was last week when they called when Burks caught that ball in the back of the end zone. They called it incomplete. We didn't challenge it.
Yeah.
And afterwards, I saw a picture and his foot dragged.
Really?
Was that last week?
I may have been. I don't remember.
I think it was. Yeah.
All right, so on to the mighty Alabama Crimson Tide.
22? I think that's right. 20, 22. I think it's 22 and a half or something.
Is that the spread?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. I didn't know that.
I mean, have they beat anybody by 22 points in the SEC this year?
I don't know. And it's frustrating. And I get it. 100% get it. We're ranked 21st, 22nd, depending on what poll you look at. A&M, who we beat, is ranked 15th.
We dominated A&M.
We got the same record.
Yeah.
So why would they be ranked ahead of us? Other than I get it, they beat Alabama, but
they're ranked like 10th, aren't they? They were 12th last week.
Maybe so, but they're
did they end up winning Saturday? Oh, then they're not. They went down. I'm sure
they're 7-3 too. I mean, they're same record.
Oh, so you're saying they're ahead of us now?
Yeah.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. No, that doesn't make any sense.
Makes no sense. But anyway, all right. So a little stats on Alabama. They're averaging 44.5 a game on offense. They're only allowing 18 on defense. Total yardage per game is 484, 322 of that coming through the air and 162 on the ground. And they're only allowing 290 yards per game on defense. So typical Alabama, they got a stud quarterback. They've got athletes all over the field. But that LSU team that we just beat played them within a touchdown. So, it's not. I mean,
that Florida team that gave up 52 points to Sanford almost beat them.
That's
too.
right.
Had a chance to beat them.
That's right. So, I'm not ruling it out. I definitely would like to take the 22.5.
It's tough playing in Tuscaloosa.
It is tough. It is tough.
So, hey, our Texas win's looking worse and worse,
man, isn't it,
dude? Because they got beat by Kansas,
yes.
Right? So I saw the funniest tweet today.
I think I know.
Did you see it?
About.
This one guy tweeted he was obviously a UT fan. He's like, "See why UT wants to leave the Big 12 because fan bases just hate us, and they love our our misgoings and slip ups." And then somebody, obviously from the SEC, retweeted it and said, "Who wants to be the one to tell him?" We hate you too.
I saw one that said Vanderbilt cannot wait for Texas to get
I saw that too.
That's awesome.
Hey, I got news for them. I know I got some good friends that are OU fans.
Yeah.
They're real lucky they're not in the SEC this year.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They might be 6-6.
Yeah, no doubt.
Maybe.
No doubt. So you got another little team you want to talk about.
I got to talk about my boys.
I know you do.
So Harding, the number 3 team, according to D2Football.com, in Division II, beats Arkansas Tech 31-0. It was a slow first half. I want to say it might have been like 7-0 at halftime.
Is that right?
Yeah, but they come out second half. Cole Chansey had 210 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. He's got over 60 touchdowns, I guess, career.
That's impressive.
Has to be, yeah. He's the GAC and Harding all-time rushing leader.
That's insane.
So they finished the regular season at 10-1.
Very impressive.
Yeah, so they're the only team from the GAC.
And that one loss was by a couple
Southeast
points.
Oklahoma at 1 point.
1 point, yeah.
So they're the only team from the GAC that made the playoffs.
I saw that. It was a little bit surprising.
Yeah. Did you see OBU's kicker made the 53-yard field goal to beat Henderson?
That place went nuts.
Oh, it did. It did.
Yeah.
But yeah, Harding's going to play at home.
Yeah.
They're going to play Washburn, who I don't know how they're not the 3 seed.
It's a little bit weird.
I think it's a ranking.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, because
do they have like a committee?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
Because I think Harding has been the number 2 seed voted on.
Gotcha.
And because you look at that Washburn team beat Northwest Missouri State, who anybody knows about D2 football knows that they are a
perennial.
Yeah. As is Pitt State.
Yeah.
Well, they beat both these teams.
Right.
And Fort Hays, who is another one that's the same way.
Crazy.
And the 3 seeds Northwestern Missouri State.
It
doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense.
So Harding draws a tough one, but at least they're playing at home.
That's
and if
right.
they win that one, then they play Northwestern Missouri State
Dang.
at home, assuming that they win their game.
Yeah.
Feel like they will.
Sure. Well, that's awesome. Great season. UCA lost one to Stephen F. Austin, 27-14. Not really the season UCA had hoped for this year. They had high hopes coming into this year. Braylon Smith was 17 of 27 for 163 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Darius Hale, freshman running back, had 18 carries for 88 yards. And I've got that the Bears will be on the road this Saturday to finish their season at Tarleton State.
So they do have one more.
So.
I wasn't sure if they did or not. Braylon, I watched that game
Did
Saturday, and you talk about laying on the field. He got beat up pretty good because he just played all out. Of course, he's a senior, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he's giving it. It's his last go.
Man.
But he laid it all out there. Tarleton used to be an old Lone Star school,
Really?
Lone Star Conference.
Yeah.
So I guess they're in that
SWAC
now.
I'd
Not
never.
SWAC, but Southland.
Yeah. I'd never even heard of them until a couple years ago. Yeah.
My senior year, our quarterback had transferred from Tarleton.
Okay. Arkansas State got them a win, baby. Beat Louisiana Monroe 27-24.
Covered the spread.
Lane Hatcher was 34 of 50 for 444 yards. Had 2 touchdowns, but did throw 2 picks. Mr. Corey Rucker, that I think you will eventually see on Sundays here in the near future, had 7 catches for 103 yards. And Trevelyan's Hunt had 8 catches for 96 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Arkansas State will play Georgia State on the road this Saturday.
And that might be a loss.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly.
So did you see first of all, I know you've not made it to basketball mode mentally yet.
No, not even close.
But did you see any of the games Saturday?
No, I didn't.
Okay, but did you see that we won?
No, I didn't.
Okay. So we beat Gardner Webb by 16 or so. We were up like 28 late and just played everybody.
Gotcha.
Guess who led the scoring?
I wouldn't have a clue.
I'll give you 10 guesses, and you won't get it.
Who is it?
Connor Vanover.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he did.
I didn't even know he's still on the team.
So, yeah, and he looked really well.
Well, good.
I have not forgotten that he struggles against SEC strength down low.
So he hadn't put on any weight.
No, he just didn't build for it.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd think about how built like that would carry weight, but he's just his structure doesn't.
Right.
He's just bony.
Yeah.
But he's tall.
How many do you have?
Like 20.
Dang, that's awesome.
I think that's right. 19 or 20. Note balled out again.
Good.
That's 2 that he's looked good this year.
Good.
So anyway, but the big news is that we got 2 that signed this weekend. Darren Ford, I believe, signed yesterday.
Yeah.
And did Nick Smith sign Saturday?
Possibly.
I think he did. They're either saying he's going to, or that I think he signed Saturday. Though.
Okay, good. Well, when I hear the word basketball right now, it's just like
I know, but it's hard not to watch the Hogs.
I know.
I of course, you're living with it more than I am right now because you got a quarterback in your house.
I'm a little quirky though, man. Like I eat one food at a time. I don't like for my food to touch. I don't want to watch another sport until the other one's over.
I get it 100%.
All right, so let's go into our picks from last week, baby.
Hey, you know what we hadn't done in a while? I'm going to do just for you if I can find the right one.
Hey, listen, it's been so long, it may not even be on there anymore.
I know. It may be like the Brady Bunch or something. All right, let's hear it.
Pal, I'll kiss your boots if you can do it. But to be the man, you got to beat the man. And I'm saying, woo, right here. I'm the man.
Thank
Your
you.
jingle.
Thank you, Jim.
That make you feel good.
It did.
I hadn't even played mine in a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It has been. So Matty Stats gets one back.
Maybe Clint Vegas won't call me Matty L.
Matty L. I'm going to tell him when I get home tonight, hey, dude, you owe Matt an apology. He's not Matty L. So you picked one that and you know what's funny, because last week when we were doing the picks, I told you in there, I said, this one's going to cost me. And it did. So Matt's down by 6 going into the second week. You can do it still.
I made up my mind when I was doing my picks a minute ago.
What's that?
I'm either going to have a chance after this week, or it's the fat lady singing. Like I picked some games that I probably shouldn't have, but if they turn out, I'll be back in it.
There's a bunch of tough games.
There's some tough games to pick.
And
Yes.
let me tell you, we got a bunch of kids to talk about.
Man, I love talking about these kids. You want to start us?
Sure. So we're going to start off with I'm a defensive guy.
Sure.
Played it for a long time, and I like to talk about it. So we'll talk about Camden Fairview's Jacoby Barker. Coach Stone down there, he sent me a message for Saturday. I was on my deer stand. I got a message that says, need to check this kid out. He had 11 tackles Friday night, 6 tackles for loss with 5 sacks.
That's just unreal.
That's one game, guys. One game.
Unreal.
He leads the state with 19 sacks on the season.
Very well done.
Pretty
my man.
special.
Yeah. In Prescott, I've got a bunch of names to mention here.
Yeah, you do.
Jalen Hobson had 5 carries, 71 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jacqueline Zachary, 5 carries, 54 yards, 1 touchdown, 4 catches, 83 yards, and a touchdown. Travion Dickens, 2 carries, 15 yards, 1 catch, 34 yards, a touchdown, 38-yard interception for a touchdown. Karsten Poole was 4 for 10 for 110 yards and 2 touchdowns. Tristan Pettit from Prescott, fumble return for a touchdown.
I've decided, I'm going to tell Coach Glass this. I've renamed Prescott. It's now the Valley of Un.
The Valley of what?
Un. Jalen, Jacqueline, Travion, Karsten, Tristan.
I like it. I like it.
Oh, man, they're rolling right now.
They are.
So over at Lamar, big win.
Yes.
Knocked off a Gentry team that beat them earlier in the season by just a couple points.
It was close.
Damian Hendricks had 2 rushing touchdowns in that 1-point victory.
Very nice. In Ozark, Mr. Landon Wright rushed for 197 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Well, that's a night right there. Over at Rogers, Joshua Shepard, 17 carries for 246 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Very good. And
That's a high rating.
they take on the Wampus Cats this week.
It's tough game for them.
Yeah. In Ashdown, Arquavian Martin, 86-yard pick 6.
He might be from the Valley of Un. All right. Hey, it worked out this week.
Yeah.
I got Greenbrier. All right, Greenbrier, Cooper Wilcox, 15 for 31, 235 yards, 2 touchdowns, 17 carries, 71 yards, and 1 touchdown, and lots of bruises.
A lot of bruises.
That Maumelle defense.
He got to know Nico very well.
Let me tell you,
Friday night.
that team on both sides of the ball, and they're off their lines.
They were huge.
They look like not just college, but D1.
Yes, they
were huge.
They were massive.
Also from Greenbrier, Carter McElhaney, 5 catches, 90 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jacob Mathis, 7 catches, 103 yards, and a 50-yard pick 6 that tied the game.
Sure did.
Nick Hewitt, another great game. He seems like he does it every week. 23 carries, 108 yards, 2 catches for 11 yards, and, of course, he is a monster on the defensive side of the football. Mm-hmm. And then maybe as impressive as anything in high school football right now is Bradley Turnage going 65 of 65 on the season, 7 of 7 in field goals. He's perfect on the year, and, of course, Friday night, the game-winning field goal.
Yeah, that was awesome. In Mountain Home, Gage Lindsay, 192 yards and 1 touchdown rushing.
Over to Arkadelphia, Donovan Witten. Seems like we talk about this young man a lot. I believe he was a player of the week last week.
He was.
He went 13 for 20, 179 yards with 2 touchdowns. Jay Sean Davis, the human bowling ball, 12 carries, 152 yards, 5 touchdowns.
Jeez.
Wow. And Trip Cannon, he had 4 grabs, 72 yards with 2 touchdowns.
All right, in Huntsville, Colton Reynolds, 70-yard touchdown run.
Shiloh Christian, Eli Wisdom, 5 carries, 106 yards. When I first saw that, I was like, hold on, he's the quarterback. But he did. He had 5 carries, 106 yards, 201 yards passing, and 2 touchdowns. He did it on both the ground and the air.
Yep.
Caden Henley. I didn't get all of Caden's stats.
Yeah.
But I did notice he had a 31-yard interception. I actually saw the video. Interception for a touchdown. And then that was it.
Yeah. So in Harrison, took a tough loss to Pulaski Academy.
Yeah.
Logan Plumley, the quarterback there at Harrison, was 30 of 35 for 339 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Sunquist Church, the church boy from Northside, 21 carries, 204 yards, 2 touchdowns. Yeah. Ty Massey at Northside, 15 carries, 147 yards, 3 touchdowns. And then Ronnie Lester from Northside, 2 interceptions and 2 tackles for loss.
Very nice. In Malvern, Jalen Dupree, 36 carries, 288 yards, and 3 touchdowns. That's a busy night.
It is. Here's something funny. I didn't realize I did this until just now, but there's more Ashdown. you already talked about Arquavian Martin.
Yep.
But also Jaden Fricks, which we talk about Jaden pretty much every week. He had 23 carries, 126 yards, put him over 1,000 yards for the season. Landon Rowe from Ashdown had 15 tackles.
That's awesome. In Elkins, Braden Welch, 11 of 19 for 96 yards passing. Deshaun Chairs, 25 carries for 219 yards, 4 touchdowns. He's had a great season.
He has.
Landon Haney from Elkins, 9 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and 2 fumble recoveries.
Over at Pulaski Academy, if we can pull out the win Friday night against win against win.
Yeah, you get to
Then,
see. You
I
get to see your cuz.
my cuz. As long as they take care of business with Magnolia,
Yeah.
we'll get to see them over at our place. But Charlie Pfizer, 23 of 30, 201 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then John Mark Charette, I guess that's how you say it, Charette, 11 catches, 110 yards, 1 touchdown.
He played well.
He did.
Made some good catches. Boonville, Randon Ray, a name we've heard on here a bunch. 11 carries, 53 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1-for-1 passing for 32 yards and a touchdown. And also Cody Elliott in Boonville, the fullback, went 81 yards for a touchdown, the longest in Bearcat playoff history.
Yeah, Glenn Parrish told me about that. He keeps up with all that for him, and pretty impressive for a fullback to go 81.
Yeah, for sure.
Kason Morgan at Bentonville West, 17 carries, 105 yards.
All right, in CrossFit, Tyreek Jones was 9 of 13 for 156 yards, 2 touchdowns, and also carried it 6 times for 56 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground.
All right. That brings us to Lake Hamilton, doesn't it?
Yes, sir.
Easton Hurley, 6 for 10, 218 yards, 2 touchdowns. I didn't know they could throw it 10 times a game. Justin Krushmer, Lake Hamilton, 6 carries, 64 yards, 3 catches, 154 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then Tevin Woodley, he carried the ball 10 times for 70 yards and 3 touchdowns.
All right, Braden J. over in Cabot had a special year so far this year. He had 6 carries for 77 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 5 catches for 57 yards. And then Mason Bell in Cabot, 12 carries for 57 yards and a touchdown.
Little Rock Christian, they had a big win Friday night. They put up 56, I believe. Javion Dyer Jones, 21 carries, 202 yards, 3 touchdowns. That seems like pretty much a normal week for him.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Gittens, 10 carries, 78 yards, 1 touchdown. Old Walker White, the quarterback there, 13 for 17, 240 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's a big night.
Yes, sir.
And then Eli Cooper, 6 catches, 197 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Very nice. In Marion, Ben Gerard, 7 of 13 for 169 yards and a touchdown. Cameron Anderson, 26 carries for 204 yards and 4 touchdowns. And Donnie Cheers, 5 catches for 181 and a touchdown.
Dylan Braxton over at Newport, 13-25, 182 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then Antoine Hardaway from Newport, 6 tackles, 2 interceptions, 94 return yards. And then Jadarius Reed, 4 tackles and 2 interceptions.
Very nice. And Truman Murphy Williams, 11 of 22 for 115. He also had 13 carries for 91 yards and a touchdown. And Ryan King in Truman had 17 carries for 71 yards and 2 touchdowns.
And then you got one more there, Dawson.
Dawson Schubert in Truman, 3 catches for 74 yards.
Okay, the Win Yellow Jackets. John Watson, 85 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Carl Washington, 126 yards rushing, 1 touchdown. Kobe Davis, 145 yards, 1 touchdown. Let me tell you something funny about this. Whenever I get stats from the coaches, usually you can tell, so every once in a while somebody will be like, well, he scored twice. And you're like, well, on what?
Right.
And then most of them, though, you'll see like 25 carries, whatever, But then I get this from Win, and I'm like, it just says yards and touchdowns. And I'm like, it's because they don't throw the ball. It's because they run the flex bone.
That's right.
It makes sense.
Very seldom do they throw it. All right, a name we've heard on here all too often in Quitman, the quarterback, Mr. William Linton, had 16 carries for 137 yards and 2 touchdowns, and also had 22 tackles, 3 of them for a loss, and a fumble recovery.
That's crazy, man. Usually you see a quarterback play like a free safety,
right?
Deep cover.
Yeah.
Not go up and knock heads every play.
That's right. Also, his teammate over there, Trevor Locke, had 8 carries for 97 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 catches for 33 yards.
I also want to say on that Quitman game, their opponent basically ran the clock to like about 2 or 3 seconds for every play.
Is that right?
Just controlling the clock, So there's no telling what he'd have done with the full, lots of time. Parkview, they lit up the scoreboard. Thursday night in their win over Searcy. Jalen White, 8 for 8, 170 yards, 2 touchdowns. Montario Elston, a freshman, 2 catches, 60 yards with a score. Razorback commit James Joyner, 4 carries, 57 yards, 2 touchdowns. I'll just run 57 yards on 4 carries.
Yeah.
And then get this, another freshman, Omarion Robinson, 57-yard punt return for a touchdown and an interception return for a touchdown.
Wow, that's
a
awesome.
9th grader.
That's pretty cool stuff. In Cedarville, Mr. Daryl Kadich, who I believe is leading the state in rushing yards. Could be wrong. He may be second, but he's up there pretty
Yeah,
close.
I heard the other day where first was. It's not Searcy.
Really?
No, it's another one, and I can't remember. Maybe Pocahontas. I'm not sure. I had to look. But
Okay. Anyway, he had 32 carries for 230 yards and 2 touchdowns. Colton Arnold had 17 carries for 123 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Cody Dickens had 2 touchdown passes.
Camden Harmony Grove, down south. Caleb Johnson, 5 for 17, 135 yards, 1 touchdown. Tobias Hicks, 14 carries, 116 yards, 1 touchdown. And Daniel Hill, 8 carries, 38 yards, 2 touchdowns. Freshman Trent Haygood, 2 catches, 89 yards. And then Titus Lockhart, 2 catches, 40 yards with a score.
Very nice. Gurdon with a big win over Junction City.
Huge.
Sam Bell, 36 carries for 165 yards and 4 touchdowns. And also Josh Taylor from Gurdon had 12 tackles on the night.
Didn't they end up the 4 seed out of that
Pretty
conference?
sure. Yeah.
And they go out and they beat a Junction City right out the gate.
Yeah. And hadn't played well
No, they've not.
couple weeks prior to that.
That's right. Pocahontas, Connor Baker, 35 carries, 243 yards, 5 touchdowns.
Wow.
2 for 6, 32 yards, 1 touchdown throwing the ball, 6 tackles, and an interception.
I'm going to say he slept pretty good that night.
I bet he did too. That's not it, is it?
Nope, you got-
Reagan Womack. Okay, sorry. Reagan Womack, 18 carries, 128 yards, 6 tackles, a forced fumble. Zane Hibbard, 11 tackles. Cooper Sorg, 9 tackles, and a blocked field goal for a touchdown.
Very nice. East Poinsett County, Mr. Dennis Gaines had 9. This is crazy. Had 9 carries for 240 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Wow.
That's pretty solid.
Yes, it is.
And then is it Camden Argo? I hope
Yes.
I hope I pronounced it right. Had 3 carries for 31 yards and 1 touchdown.
Yes. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't put that on there right, but I think that is right. 9 carries, 240 yards. All right, Stuttgart, Daniel Poole, 1 touchdown catch, 1 touchdown run. Tamir Coppins, 3 touchdown passes. Levante Clark, 10 tackles, 3 tackles for loss. And Briar West, 8 tackles with 3 tackles for loss.
Very nice. Magnolia is getting it rolling at the right time. Mr. Garyon Curry, 9 carries for 141 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kendrick Carey, 4 carries for 143 yards and a touchdown. Dalen Blanchard, the quarterback there, 11 carries for 102 yards and a touchdown. Amari Roach, 8 carries for 72 yards and 2 touchdowns. And I think about everybody on the team at Magnolia rushed the ball that night.
497 yards, 467 or 497, but either way, on 40 carries.
That's nuts.
It's crazy. I think it was 497.
Wow.
Matthew Martinez down at Whitehall, 12 for 15, 134 yards, 1 touchdown, 12 carries for 128 yards. Zaire Green, 11 carries, 65 yards, 1 touchdown. And Duran Kane, 17 carries, 63 yards, 1 touchdown. And defense, a lot of plays.
Over in Southside, Landon Haas had 26 carries for 156 yards, 57 yards, and 1 touchdown. And Jacob Doon, 20 carries for 123 yards and 2 touchdowns.
I ran off and forgot to write down Harding Academy. I do have Cade Smith here. He was 3 for 4 with 35 yards and a touchdown, and I forgot to put the rest of it on there.
Gotcha.
Their starters played, I think they scored 4 times in like 6 or 7 minutes, and then they came out.
I gotcha.
So, but they played, they balled out. You just did Southside, right?
Yep.
All right, Kurt Overton at Manila, 12 carries, 232 yards, 4 touchdowns. What a night.
What a night.
And then Brent Wilson at Manila, 12 tackles, 3 tackles for loss.
Very nice.
I'm going to say one more thing
All right, what
about
you got?
Caden Henley.
Okay.
All right, you know I'm a fan of this
Yeah.
kid. You know, I like his family. I like the Shiloh Christian program. I just like what they're about.
Sure.
Coach Conway said that he got a text from a sophomore dad on Wednesday that he had gotten up early that morning, the dad did, and heard his son talking on the phone to Caden, and Caden was telling him what the next scripture in Psalms he needs to be reading.
That's pretty awesome.
And he was just talking about the accountability
Yeah.
and the leadership as a senior.
That's cool.
It's awesome.
That's good stuff.
His mama was awfully proud.
Oh, I
And I'm
bet.
sure she was.
Yeah, should be. That's awesome. All right, so we'll go into our top 10s for this week as we go into the second week of the playoffs. And if you didn't get a chance to get out and watch some playoff football last week, I urge you to do so because
What are you thinking?
man, it was some good ball games. All right, so I will let you start if you want to at 2, or I'll start at 7. It's up to you.
Let's start at 2.
Okay.
We'll start at 2 because 7, they didn't do much. They just kind of sat at home.
Bunch of buys.
I know. All right, 2A. Last week we had Bigelow at 10-0 at number 1, McCrory at number 2, Fordyce 3, Clarendon 4, Des Arc 5, Hazen 6, Quitman 7, Magnet Cove 8, Junction City 9, and Hector 10. Unfortunately, the Mineral Springs Hornets did not make the travel to Bigelow. They saved the gas
They
money.
may have listened to our podcast.
A guy asked me today, said, hey, I saw that Bigelow won by 1. I was touchdown Sims. He said, how did Bigelow win by 1? I said, well, because the Hornets thought it might be smarter just to save the gas money.
That's right.
McCrory beat Yellville Summit 44-8. Fordyce, they had a bye. Clarendon beat Bearden 56-6. Des Arc beat Parker's Chapel 52-6. Hazen beat Hampton 50-6. Quitman beat Foreman 34-12. Magnet Cove had a bye. And then we have a slip up here. Junction City lost to Gurdon 26-22. And then Hector beat Earl 27-6. I think somebody might have picked Earl in that game.
Yeah, I did.
All right, so this week, new top 10s. Bigelow, number 1, they'll play Hazen at home. McCrory, number 2, Mount Ida at home. Fordyce 3 plays Hector at home. Clarendon 4, Lafayette County at home. Des Arc 5 plays Gurdon at home. Hazen at 6 goes to Bigelow. That's a tough one. 7, Quitman plays EPC at home. That PPC's not bad. Magnet Cove plays Mark Tree at home. Hector, as we mentioned, goes to Fordyce. And then Mount Ida, as we mentioned, goes to the town of McCrory.
Now, I've got Des Arc going to Gurdon. Is that wrong?
That might be right. I can tell you real quick.
I mean,
It might be right. Gurdon would be like a 4 or 5 seed.
yeah, I don't know if they're on the top of the bracket or not. I may have looked at that wrong. While he's looking that up, I will go ahead and start with 3A. And last week,
They are going to Gurdon.
They are.
Yep.
Wow. All right, so 3A last week we had Prescott 1, Booneville 2, Harding 3, McGee 4, Hoxie 5, Charleston 6, Paris 7, Glenrose 8, Osceola 9, and Jessieville 10. And our new top 10 this week, we got Prescott, who took care of Lake Village last week, 56-14, and they will play at home against Bismarck.
You misspoke. It's the Valley of Un.
The Valley of Fun. I'm about to get used to that one. And the Booneville Bearcats at 10-1 on the season beat Salem 49-21. They will play at home against Manila. Number 3, Harding Academy Wildcats beat West Fork 56-6. They will play a rising Wildcat team who's playing well right now.
They are. That Academy bunch is rolling.
Yeah, they'll play at Harding. Number 4, McGee. They're undefeated still in the season. Beat Walnut Ridge 60-12. They will play Melbourne at McGee. And number 5, Hoxie had a bye last week, but they will get this. Is it the Knights?
Center Point?
No, Cedarville. What's Cedarville's mascot?
Oh, man, I don't know.
I just went blank.
Center Point's the Knights.
Yeah. So Hoxie will play Cedarville at Hoxie. Charleston, number 6, was off last week with a bye. They will play the Knights of Center Point at Charleston. Number 7, Paris, in a close win over Riverview, 17-14, will play at Newport this week. Number 8, Glen Rose, beat Dollarway 53-12. They will go to Camden Harmony Grove, which will be a good matchup.
Oh, yeah. Cedarville's the Pirates.
The Pirates, that's right. Number 9, Camden Harmony Grove jumps into our top 10. They beat Harrisburg 35-29, and like we said, we'll play against Glen Rose. And then number 10, Rising finds their way back into the top 10 on 9-3 on the season. They beat Jessieville 48-7 in a convincing victory, and will take on the defending state champions.
Yes, for the three-peat.
Yes.
All right, 4A, Shiloh Christian, number 1 last week. They beat Cave City 48-7. They'll stay number 1 to play Ashdown at home this week. Joe T. Robinson, number 2. They've been there for a while. They're 9-1. They beat Mills 35-8. They'll play Pocahontas this week. Number 3, Warren took a bye this week, and they'll play Truman at home this coming Friday. Arkadelphia, number 4, beat Clinton 56-26. They'll play at Southside. That could be a game.
Could be.
Stuttgart, number 5, beat Monticello 42-7. So they'll remain at number 5 and play Dardanelle at home. Ashdown, number 6, beat Lone Oak 35-14. They will go to Shiloh Christian.
Man, what a second-round matchup.
Right. Number 7, the Southside Southerners.
Yes, sir.
They will play well, first off, they beat a good Star City team 28-24, and then they'll be at home against Arkadelphia Friday night. Number 8, Ozark. Ozark beat Huntsville 48-14. They will play Crossit at home. Number 9, Crossit beat Pottsville 49-7. You know, I mentioned the other day that I thought that might be a little bit of a game.
Yeah.
I was wrong. They'll play at Ozark. And then number 10, Prairie Grove. They beat Jonesboro West 28-10, and they'll be at home against the Lamar team, who won by 1.
Yep. Very good, very good. On to 5A we go. Last week we had PA 1, Greenbrier 2, Whitehall 3, Little Rock Christian 4, Valonia 5, Camden Fairview 6, Nettleton 7, Wynn 8, Maumelle 9, and Valley View 10. So our new top 10 this week, we leave PA, the defending state champions, at 1. They beat Harrison in a pretty good contest. It's a little bit sloppy, a lot of turnovers, but
A lot of turnovers.
they held on to win 36-21. They will play Magnolia at home this week. Greenbrier Panthers had a close one against Maumelle, a Maumelle bunch that is talented up and down the roster, and blew my mind that team had only won 4 ball games.
No way they should be 4-7.
No way. Super talented, but Greenbrier holds on to win by 3, and they will play the Wynn Yellow Jackets at Greenbrier this week. Number 3, Whitehall beat Farmington 31-17, and they will play at Fairview, which will be a good ball game. Number 4, Little Rock Christian goes to the number 2 seed in the West and just put it on the Valonia Eagles, beat them 53-29, and it looks like Christian's playing the best ball they've played all season at the right time. And so they will play at Nettleton, undefeated Nettleton, next week. I'm kind of anxious to see how that one turns out. Number 5, Fairview, 10-1 on the season, beat Greene County Tech 26-21, and they will play at home against Whitehall. Number 6, Nettleton, beat Hot Springs 33-14, and they take on the Warriors of Little Rock Christian. Number 7, Wynn, beat Lakeside 47-34, and they trailed at the half in that game and just dominated the second half, and they will go to Greenbrier this week. Number 8, Magnolia, beat Valley View 42-14 and play at PA. Number 9, we put Valonia at number 9 to end the top 10. They ended their season, and then put Maumelle at number 10.
Can Pulaski Academy slow down that 496 yards on 40 carries?
Man, I tell you, last year they played in the playoffs.
Yeah,
and
that was the week after we played them.
Yeah, and I thought there's no way it'll just be a score fest.
Right.
And PA just shut them down.
Well, the philosophy behind it was not hard.
No.
We didn't do it. We played soft on the corners.
Yes.
You can't do that.
No.
Or are you scared of getting beat deep?
Right.
When they score 10 touchdowns on you?
Right.
I mean, if they beat you deep once,
Yeah.
okay, correct it.
That's right.
But if you play soft on the corners against an option team,
They're going to wear you out.
especially one with the caliber of athletes that they play down in the South, let me tell you, that conference right there, every single team has athletes.
That's right.
All right. I'll tell you what's going to be interesting is to see Fairview and Whitehall, I mean.
Yeah.
Because, Fairview's fortunate they get to play them at home.
Right.
That Whitehall defense is something else.
They are.
And hopefully Fairview's healed up.
Yeah.
And got a bunch of players out there.
Yeah.
All right. Is that it for 5?
That's it.
All right. We'll move to 6. Benton been sitting at the house eating popcorn, watching some football on Friday nights.
Yep.
Because they had a bye as the number 1 team in the West.
Don't give me the line.
It's the East and it's the East and West. So they're in the West. Yeah. I forget because the 7A Central and West.
Yeah.
They're East and West. So they finished 1 in the West. We've got them at 1 in the state. Number 2 Greenwood, 3 Parkview, 4 Jonesboro, 5 El Dorado, 6 Lake Hamilton, 7 Sylvan Hills, Russellville at 8, 9 Marion, and 10 Searcy. This week the top 4 of the top 5 didn't play. but Parkview at number 3 did. They beat Searcy Thursday night 52-6. They looked really good.
Yes, they did.
Number 6, Lake Hamilton beat West Memphis 41-6. 7, Sylvan Hills lost in a surprise, kind of a shocker to Mountain Home.
Yes.
21-14. Russellville lost to a Marion team who is decided that they're going to play some football at the right time of the year.
That's right.
45-21. 45-21. And then 9 is that Marion team who did that to them. And then 10 was the Searcy team who lost to Parkview. So now in week 12, second round of the playoffs, number 1, Benton plays Marion at home. Number 2, Greenwood plays Mountain Home at home. Parkview, number 3, goes to Jonesboro. Number 4, Jonesboro plays Parkview at home. 5, El Dorado plays Lake Hamilton at home. Game of the week, maybe.
Yeah.
Number 6, Lake Hamilton goes to El Dorado. 7, Marion to Benton. We'll mention that. Number 8, Russellville at home. Oh, no, Russellville is at home because they're done.
Yeah.
Number 9, Sylvan Hills, they're done. And then number 10, Mountain Home, who even though they beat Sylvan Hills, we've got them at 10 because they are 4-7.
Yeah.
They play at Greenwood.
Very nice. Very nice. So on to 7A. And this one has not changed in a month, I think.
It's been several weeks.
So last week we had Bryant 1, Conway 2, North Little Rock 3, Fayetteville 4, Bentonville 5, Cabot 6, Northside 7, Rogers 8, Bentonville West 9, and Harbor 10. And it stays exactly the same. Bryant was off with a bye. Conway had a bye. Bryant will play at home against Northside. Conway will play at home against Rogers. North Little Rock beat Southside 52-7. They will be at Bentonville this week. That'll be a heck of a ball game there. Fayetteville had a bye. They play at home against Cabot. Bentonville had a bye. They play at home against North Little Rock. Cabot beat Harbor 53-7. They'll be at Fayetteville. Northside beat West 47-21. They're going to Bryant for a rematch and a ball game that was pretty
close the first time.
pretty
That was
close.
like the first game of the season, wasn't it? Like first conference game?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think Bryant beat them 31-17.
Yeah,
or something
but at
like
the half
that.
it was like 17-17
Yeah.
or something. It was
Close. Yeah. So see how that one turns out the second time around. You know, it's hard to beat the same team twice.
Yeah.
And then Rogers will travel to Conway, a Rogers team that beat Catholic 51-17. And we finished out Bentonville West at 9 on the year and Harbor at 10.
I sure would like to see that North Little Rock Bentonville game.
Yeah, it'll be a good one.
All right. So it's time to pick them up, buddy.
Oh, man.
Pick them up.
I've got to make up some
You
ground.
got 6 to go. You got 25 chances to do it. I'm not going to lie. I don't feel great about my picks this week. There's some tough games.
I don't either, but we'll go ahead and get into
All
it.
right, let's hear it.
Number 1, Cabot Panthers travel to Purple Dog Country in Fayetteville. I've got Fayetteville by 10.
I've got Fayetteville by 12.
All right. North Little Rock, the Charging Wildcats will travel to Northwest Arkansas and take on the Bentonville Tigers. I've got Bentonville by 3.
I know you would. This is one you might get. I've got North Little Rock by 2.
Okay. Number 3, Parkview is traveling to the northeast part of the state to take on Jonesboro, and I've got Parkview by 10.
I got Parkview by 10 also.
Very nice. All right, number 4, Marion will travel to Benton, a Benton team that's been playing well, but you kind of wonder how that bye week will affect them.
You should pick Marion.
I'm going to go ahead and go with Benton by 17.
I also picked Benton by 17.
All right, number 5, Lake Hamilton at El Dorado. I've got Lake Hamilton by 6.
I've got the El Dorado Wildcats
Yes, sir.
by 7.
I love it.
Did you say 7 or 17?
I said by 6.
Oh, by 6. Okay. Yeah, I got the El Dorado by 7.
Okay. And number 6, the Win Yellow Jackets 10-1 on the season travel to Faulkner County to take on the Greenbrier Panthers, who are 11-0. I've got the Panthers by 10.
I've got us by 3.
Okay. Number 7, Magnolia travels to Pulaski Academy, a rematch from last year's quarterfinal, and I've got the Bruins by 16.
I got them by 17.
Okay. Number 8, Whitehall at Fairview. I've got Whitehall by 13.
Really? Mm-hmm. I got Whitehall by 7.
Okay. Number 9.
I'm pulling for Fairview. I don't mind saying it.
Are you? All right. Number 9, Little Rock Christian at Nettleton. This is probably my favorite matchup of all classifications.
Really?
I'm just kind of anxious to see how this one turns out.
I just wonder how good Nettleton is.
Yeah. That's kind of my intrigue. I've got Little Rock Christian in this one by 3.
Really? Mm-hmm. I've got the LRCA Warriors by 14.
Okay. Number 10, Malvern in a big win last week. Will travel to Rivercrest, and I've got Malvern by 3.
I do too. Malvern by
Really?
3. Yep.
I just knew you were going to go the other way on
Man, I
that.
tell you what, I picked against them last week, and that turned Class 4 or 7 4A. I mean, over there,
It's tough.
they're good.
Yep. Speaking of Class 7 4A, Ashdown will travel to Shiloh Christian, which
They're not
is
that good though.
the toughest place in Arkansas to play. I will go the Saints by 14.
Yeah, I just kind of have to go back on what I just said. They're good. They're not that good.
Right.
I'm going with Shallow by 14. How much you say?
14.
Okay, yep.
All right, number 12, Crossit will travel to Ozark to take on the Hillbillies. I'm going to go with Crossit in this one.
Yeah,
I'm
I
going
know you
Crossit
did.
by 3.
I went with Ozark by 4.
I like it. All right, number 13, Arkadelphia, the Badgers will take on Southside, and I'm going to go with the Badgers by 10.
I went with the Badgers by 9. Let me tell you, that's going to be a good game.
Yeah.
I'm pulling for, obviously, they're one of my favorites down there.
Right?
But that having to play out Southside,
It's tough.
there's some. You ask Stuttgart how that is playing
Yeah,
up there.
that's right.
Tough place to play.
You bet. Number 14, Truman will take on Warren, the Lumberjacks. I've got Warren by 20.
I got Warren by 12.
Okay, number 15, Glen Rose at Camden Harmony Grove. I've got Glen Rose by 12.
I've got Camden Harmony Grove by 3.
Ooh, I love it.
The Hornets. I think they're the Hornets. I think that's right.
I don't know. Number 16,
How much did you go, Glen Rose, by what?
12.
Really?
Yeah.
Man. All right, go ahead.
All right, number 16, Elkins at Stuttgart. The Riceburgs by 17.
I got them by 7.
Okay. Number 17, Cedarville at Hoxie. I'm going to go Hoxie in this one by 10.
I just knew you were going with the Pirates. I'm going with Hoxie by 12.
Okay. Number 18, Paris squeaks by last week and then has to travel to Newport. I think they get it put together. I've got Paris by 7.
I got Newport by 3. I'm gonna tell you that Riverview score was a head scratcher.
It was for me for sure.
You got Paris by 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 19, Center Point will take on Charleston, and I think this is going to be a heck of a ball game.
This might be the game of the week right here.
Man, I almost went Center Point, but I'm going to go Charleston by 3.
Let me tell you, there's an old Mineral Springs Hornet coaching at Center Point.
Oh yeah,
Former quarterback John Harless.
you've been holding out on me.
I didn't know. Last I heard, he was at Bismarck.
Okay.
But I was looking today, getting a hold of their coach to get stats, and I was like, it says John Harless is there. Sure enough, he's one of the coaches there, and he was old. He my freshman year, I moved up after the season, and he was our quarterback.
Okay.
We got beat by Barton at Barton.
Imagine that.
Man, we were beating them at half too. They're just so good.
They were so good.
Who'd you go with though?
I went with. I ended up going with Charleston by 3,
I went Charleston by 7.
which means that I really didn't know.
Right.
So Rising will take on Harding Academy this week. I went Harding Academy by 13.
I went with the Cats by 14. Well, actually, they're both the Cats. I'm going with Harding Academy by 14.
Okay,
You said 7?
13.
13.
Yeah. Number 21, Desark at Gurdon. I'm going Desark in this one by 14.
I went with DA by 7.
Okay. Number 22, Hector will take on Fordyce. I've got the Red Bugs by 13.
I got the Red Bugs by 14.
And number 23, Poen at Dirks. I'm going the Indians
Oh, yeah?
by 3.
Let me tell you, I am going with the revenge of the Outlaws because they lost by 2 at home earlier this year.
Right? You know, I think we talked about this maybe last
What
week.
did you say? Did you say 13?
No, 3.
Oh, 3-0.
But didn't they play? Did they play twice last year? And both ball games.
I
was
forgot
like,
to look. I
really?
listened to us talk about
Yeah.
that this week, and I thought I need to check. But I can go back and check. But they lost at home by 2 to Poen this year. I think they're going to get them.
They might.
I got Eric's by 7.
Okay. Number 24, and this is a good ball game here.
It might be better than some people think it's going to be.
I think so. Hazen goes to Bigelow. I've got Bigelow by 3.
I have Bigelow by 7. But let me just say, no disrespect, and I obviously so because we have them at number 1 in the state.
Right.
But that level of competition that they've played is not the same
No, I agree.
as what Hazen's played every single week.
I agree with that. And the last game on the pick list for this week is Mount Ida travels to McCrory, and I've got McCrory by 20.
I got McCrory by 18.
All right, brother. Look here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games different, baby.
You could tie it up.
I could tie it up.
Or you could go down 12.
Or I could just throw the towel.
I love it. I love it.
All right. So I think that's going to wrap. Nope. We got players of the week.
Players of the week. Let me tell you, I hate to even admit this, but there was a couple of them when we read through a while ago I thought we might have missed on.
Yeah.
So if you feel like you were missed out on, you probably were, and we apologize. But that takes nothing away from the ones that we did pick,
That's right.
and I don't want to change it because they deserve it. Yeah. 2A, a familiar name. But how do you not give it to this kid?
Man, you I don't know. I mean, we tried to look through and find one that was better, and
I know.
there's not one.
But over at Quitman, William Litton, he carried the ball 16 times for 137 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then he turned around and had 22 tackles, 3 tackles for loss and a fumble recovery.
That's just impressive night.
Let me tell you, he does that every week. He can be on my team anytime he wants to.
Can't tell you.
And I'm sure Coach Mars would says the same.
Yeah.
Number 3A, a new name on the list this week. I'm glad I got in touch with Manila's coach.
Yeah.
I really reached out to all the coaches that I didn't have stats on that were winners this week.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I did because we got a lot of them that feedback. And this is one right here that we wouldn't have known had we not reached out to him. Kurt Overton from Manila, 12 carries, 232 yards, 4 touchdowns. Ladies and gentlemen, that's almost 20 yards a carry.
That's insane.
It is. Jay Sean Davis is my 4A guy. 2 weeks in a row we went with an Arkadelphia guy.
Right.
And let me tell you, if you've ever watched this kid play, you can understand why we have respect for him.
Some college is going to get a steal on this kid.
A steal.
Yeah.
12 carries, 152 yards, 5 touchdowns. Over 10 yards a carry. 5A, Jacoby Barker. This is the first one we talked about today from Fairview. 11 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, 5 sacks. I don't care what division you're playing in, what level. If you get 5 sacks in a game, you are a stud. Man, I'll tell you what, that's insane. It's insane.
Yeah.
Not to mention he leads the state with 19.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a season for most
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mentioned the other day about Logan Jessup, the guy that we've buddied with over at UCA, which, by the way, I had Clint do a video, and I sent it to Logan before the game. He told him, he said, go Bears, beat the Jacks.
That's awesome.
He said 91 all day. But anyway, Logan was leading the A-Sun with 6 sacks just a couple weeks ago.
There you go.
That's awesome.
Yep.
So anyway, 6A, Cameron Anderson from Marion, 26 carries, 204 yards, and 4 touchdowns. And then in 7A, from the Rogers Mounties, Joshua Shepard, 17 carries, 246 yards. That is over 10 a carry for 3 touchdowns.
That's awesome. Congratulations to those guys. We'll be sending your shirts out hopefully either end of this week or first of next. And
I was out of town in the last week. Yeah. I'm not going to lie to you. If you want to get a hold of me Thursday or Friday up until about 4 o'clock Friday, you better send a back signal, smoke signal, because I'm going to be in the deer woods. I'm just going to be honest with you.
Hey, man, I get it.
I got my last big renewal of the year done today.
Yeah.
And I'm like, guys,
see ya.
I'm out.
Which, I kind of get used to it because I think I'm the only male in Faulkner County that does not hunt.
On Saturday morning, you're the only male in Faulkner County that's at home.
That's right. I have no friends this time of year.
Well, in the afternoon when the football comes on, they start showing back up.
That's right. Well, man, it's been awesome.
It has been.
Good show today. Looking forward to another great Friday night of playoff football. Man.
Thanks to Bleacher Bling for the shirts.
Yes.
They've been hooking us up with the shirts every week. And thanks to American Safeguard Insurance, who also pays for the shirts with Bleacher Bling and provides us with this fine establishment.
That's exactly right. Thank those guys, and thank y'all for listening, and we will check you next week.